What is up, everybody? It is your man Jay coming at you through these Oblivion gates with a little something different. I'm feeling kind of like an angsty teenage girl because I want to rant. Now, I know you all know someone who is like this. You've talked to them. Maybe you're not exactly friends, but you've met this person. The person that doesn't understand that Mario doesn't exist outside of Nintendo. They're like, oh, where's that Mario Kart on PlayStation 3? And you're like, Mario's owned by Nintendo, so we won't find any of his games on the PlayStation. And they're like, the Nintendo, no, yeah, like you play his games on the Nintendo, and you're like thinking, okay, wait, this guy's talking about the NES. He is classifying Nintendo as a company and putting it all into one system. Okay, no, Nintendo spans beyond the NES. It's like, what? And so you're like, okay, well, no, Nintendo, like DS, 3DS, Wii and Wii U, GameCube. And he's like, oh yeah, I played Mario on those. And you're like, right, so that's Mario is on all of those. Like PlayStation has God of War and Xbox has Halo. And they look at you like it's your fault. Like it's your freaking fault that you chose for Mario not to be on those other systems. They're like, whoa, you're kidding me, Jay. Mario, I was playing Mario Kart on my friend's PS3 last week. And you're like, well, if you want to show me this mythical Mario Kart on the PS3, I mean, please. Maybe someone's, buying some ripped off Mario Kart or something they're putting on their PlayStation. But Nintendo people, and it's not just Mario Kart. I know I keep saying Mario Kart. It's everything. It's Mario, it's Legend of Zelda. People, and you're like, oh, well, those games just don't exist. It's Pokemon. They're like, where's the Pokemon for my Xbox? And you're like, well, Pokemon doesn't exist on Xbox, but it'd be really cool. Pokemon on Xbox, like the graphics would be so sick. It's like, yeah, it would be. It'd be cool. Like, let's put Pokemon on a nice engine, throw it on Xbox One or whatever, make it look pretty. That would be nice. That would be cool. Whatever. But it doesn't happen because Nintendo owns Pokemon, owns that license. It is all like their decision. And people just, they can't quite grasp like this understanding. And I can only put this into so many words. It's like, I'm not a sports person, alright? Learn that about me. I'm not a sports person at all. But I understand that, the Denver Broncos and, Seattle Seahawks are two different teams. Two different teams. And I'm not like, oh yeah, Peyton Manning, he just plays wherever. I saw him on the Lakers team last week. No, it's not like that. Mario, Zelda, pretty much, I mean, throw in Nintendo franchise here. They've been around for minimum 20 years, Mario even longer. It's like, how iconic is all these Nintendo groups, and people still have like the audacity to think that it's okay to just be super ignorant about it. And I think they know. I'm pretty sure they know Mario only exists on Nintendo, and for whatever reason it's in their brain, and they're just like, I want to say I played Mario Party on my PlayStation last week with my cousin. And you're like, okay, well, whatever, you didn't, And it irks me so bad because why can't we understand? You can go anywhere. You can talk to, you're like, hey, do you know what Mario Brothers is? I guarantee they've heard of Mario Brothers. Everyone knows what Mario Brothers is. And they're like, oh yeah, I played that on the Nintendo. And you're like, the Nintendo? Like, the Nintendo what? The Nintendo Wii? Because I played it on that too. And they're like, no, the Nintendo. And you're like, the NES? And they're like, no, the Nintendo. And you're like, okay, whatever, that's the Nintendo, I guess. And they just accept that. And it's so funny talking to people, because I think it changes with generation. It's like kids are like, oh yeah, the Nintendo DS. And you're like, oh, it's Nintendo, the company, you know, everything. But then you're like, you know, maybe talking to let's say someone 17 to 20, and they're like, the Nintendo, the GameCube, that's the Nintendo. You know, as we get older, it's like you talk to someone in their 30s and they're like, oh yeah, the Nintendo, that's Super Nintendo. And you're like, yeah, that's the Super Nintendo, that's one of them, good job, there's more, you know. And people don't seem to do the same thing with PlayStation. They're not like, oh yeah, the PlayStation. No, it's always, oh, I love the PS2 or I love the PS3. You know, it's never just specified or classified as just the PlayStation. It's not just one system. There's 4 individual systems, but they can't separate their minds when it comes to Nintendo for whatever freaking reason. And it drives me insane. Just a small, minor pet peeve. I know it's nothing too big, but I'm like, guys, we need to come together as a gaming community, as good, educated people. We need to understand that Nintendo is an entire company of great games and systems, not just the Nintendo, the NES. You know, I mean, you see it just everywhere. To go talk to someone, go find someone that isn't quite 100% gamer and be like, what's the Nintendo? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I played Mario 64 on that. And you're like, Mario 64 is a game on the N64. What? Not the Nintendo. Yes, Nintendo's in the title, but it doesn't make it the Nintendo. PlayStation is in the title of PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3. Xbox is in the title of Xbox 360 or Xbox One or original Xbox. But it's not just the Xbox. I mean, come on, really? And it's, people are always looking for Mario Kart or Mario Party or Mario Sunshine or some Mario game on the Xbox or PlayStation. Every once in a while, maybe someone's like, oh, where's that God of War on Xbox? And you're like, okay, God of War is only PlayStation, dude. And it's like, whatever. But for whatever reason, they think Mario exists everywhere. And when you're like, no, it's only on Nintendo, it's a Nintendo brand item, they're like, no, Mario's been on other things than the Nintendo. And you're like, you're right, the Nintendo, everything Mario's been on. That's the way life works. And I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys don't feel the same way, maybe you're not as passionate as I clearly am. It just, I deal with it so often, you know, just talking to people. Maybe it's just the older people I hang around, or these kids that I talk to. I don't know if it's just this town, maybe, you know, but it's happening and it drives me insane. So that's the rant, guys. Does this happen to you? Do you know more than the Nintendo system? You know, let me know in the comments below. It was fun making this rant. I had a blast just kind of letting go, doing something a little bit different. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Hopefully you can get a laugh out of it. And hopefully we can change this stupid world, because it'd be so nice to like talk with educated people that know what they're talking about. I think I made some pretty valid points. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will open these Oblivion gates for you. You know you want to be a part of that. You guys have a fantastic night. Gotta bounce.